All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Motivatarian Exchange. Of course, I'm your host, Dionne Woods, and my very special guest is someone who I happen to known probably as if you're not my family, but you're right there as long as some of the other guests. Maybe Lance has been on here, my brother, and Matt, of course, but Hayley Hunter, thank you so much for joining me today. This is such a treat.
It's such a blessing to be here. Thanks for having me. And yeah, we go way back, like when you were maybe 7.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was that long. It's
Something like
crazy town. And we're not quite that age anymore. So it's really good that our circles kind of collided and that we've been able to stay in touch. And it was such a treat to be able to feature you and your business in the Turquoise Iris Journal and relaunching my podcast with a new title. Again, opened up an opportunity for me to interview people who weren't painters because it was called Paint Talks for 4.5 years. So I needed to change that because it felt a little awkward inviting people to be on the podcast who weren't painters, but who were out doing things like motivating women, same as me. And so thank you for letting us feature you and sharing your images in the magazine. You guys can pick up a copy of that at the turquoiseirisjournal.com. We currently have our summer volume delivering 2 mailboxes as we speak. I'm literally waiting for my UPS driver to show up today. So, Hayley, tell all of us where you are kind of in your business at this moment. What do you do? And why do you do such deep work with women the way that you have kind of is it just women? Is it exclusive women? I guess that's another thing that I should ask.
Okay, so let me start with the first question.
Yeah.
This
Yes.
is actually my 10th year in business, which is the name of it, of basically my soul baby, is called Soul Sparkle Living. So we celebrate 10 years in October. And originally, Dionne, I started it so that I could finally, after, I don't know, 2 decades of dreaming of this life, travel and speak and teach around the world. So the intention was to set off on this grand adventure and create these beautiful, like magical and moving experiences for women. Really,
Mhm.
to be honest, if I'm really honest, it's basically what I always wanted to do, and I couldn't find the thing that I was looking for, so I created it, which I think a lot of us end up doing as creatives. And
Yeah.
so that turned into an entire decade, 10 years of um, creating these beautiful experiences around the world, and led me to living in Paris for a while, Morocco for a while, which is what we shared in your magazine in January, that issue.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and then also in Italy for the last several years. And now, right now, as we are recording this, I'm back in my hometown where you are, which
Yeah.
is so fun. So kind of full circle.
Yeah. Full circle. Not too far from me right now.
Mhm.
What was the first offering that you created, Hayley, that made you say, "Oh yeah, like
This is it.
this is it"?
So I created an event in Ojai, California. I was living in San Diego at the time, and I thought, wouldn't it be fabulous if I could gather a group of women together to create just something extraordinary, transformative, inspiring, motivational, if you will. And um, that's really what set the entire Soul Sparkle brand into life, because I ended up with 20 women at this first event that I did. And you know how sometimes you have in your mind the thing that you want to create and you have the vision of it, but then when you actually have the experience of the thing, it's like so much even better than you dreamed it would be. It was like that.
Absolutely. Wow.
And I was like, wow, this is it. Like, this is the thing, you know? First of all, I tend to collect magical humans wherever I go. I always am like, ooh, you're fabulous. Like, welcome to the world, right? And it just brought together some incredible women. And I fell in love with them. They fell in love with each other. And they just they really got it. And they really had a deeply transformative experience. And I thought, okay, this is the juice. This is the thing that makes my soul sparkle, right? And that's really, I think, the question I kept coming back to is what is the thing that makes your soul sparkle? What makes your light shine? What makes you so radiant and so magnetic? For you, you've got a million ways that you do that, right? And I'm sure
Thank
so
you.
many of the people that you've had on your podcast before, we all have our special little magic, right? We have our special sauce, if you will. And so for me, creating these beautiful experiences that happen to also have a richness and a depth to them. It's not just a vacation. It's not just a retreat.
It's work.
Plain. Yeah, it's work.
Yeah.
And
It's a mental and emotional work that people are investing in their own quality of life, right?
exactly,
So you
exactly.
said it had been 10 years. So I love Soul Sparkle. I mean, who doesn't love that? That's gotta put a smile on everybody's face right now. Um, has the meaning evolved since you first started with Soul Sparkle?
I think so. It actually has become, and I think a lot of us that have our own business, the business actually becomes an expression of the essence of you, right? Like the truth of
Mm,
who you are and how you show up in the world. And obviously, I've grown and changed, and different seasons of life have been some full sparkling, some more like soul and depth and transformative, right? So it's almost this interesting hybrid of really wherever I am in my journey, the creation and the things that I offer
yeah.
are, are different based on kind of where I'm at in my life. And so I think at the end of the day, it's really about living a beautiful life, like elegant simplicity. And that's for me, it's deep connection, transformational experiences, beautiful memories, beautiful cuisine, like just making things special in a world that sometimes feels so chaotic and so fast paced and so tech driven. I think what I try to do is infuse the everyday magic back into regular life, like infuse the sacred back into society, when we can. So,
Absolutely. We're all motivated differently. And
mhm.
that's kind of why I took the name of this podcast, because some of us are motivated by connection and that causes growth. Some of us are more motivated by just compassion or even being a part of a community. Some people are motivated by curiosity. They see something and they're just so curious, and that's what motivates them. And then we're also motivated by each other's courageous expression. And so there's always this guiding force behind that, and it sounds like that's what you help people identify, is what ultimately is your personal greatest motivator, and how do we get more of that in our life,
Right.
right?
Yes. And you're right. It's like we all have our own way. Not everyone has to quit their job, travel the world, sell everything, and do this crazy life, right? Like I did. That's not everyone's definition, right? But really it's finding the thing, like what does your soul sparkle life look like? And then how can you embody that in a way that feels really authentic and aligned for you? And what you just said, it's interesting that there was a lot of people actually that, because you do your thing, you don't really think about what other people think. I mean, at least I don't. I'm just like, I'm just going to do it. I just go for it. But the
Yeah.
messages that I kept getting after I would share about things on social media, they were like, wow, thank you for being brave enough to do your life differently, because you're giving me permission to do that as well. And I didn't go about it in that way, like that was not the
Sure.
intention, but that's kind of the afterglow that I think those of us that do things differently, we do inspire people to make brave choices or different
We do.
decisions we may not know or are possible unless we go first. So it's been
And
really interesting.
that's the quote from Jamie Kern Lima's book that I love so much, Haley. She says, "Honey, you're not crazy. You're just first."
Oh,
You
that's so
know,
good.
you're just first. Your family may not understand, your friends may not understand.
Yeah.
You may feel like they're trying to say you're crazy, but in reality, you're just first and somebody's got to go first. And
Mhm.
that's how we motivate each other. That's why we look at you and go, wow, she's doing some things that I would really love to do. And she's making it possible and she's making me feel empowered. And she's ultimately just living her life and sharing her experiences. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
I love it. Building a business rooted in spirit and soul actually requires that courage.
Yeah.
Haley, so have there been moments when you either doubted your direction or even if you did, how did you move through that if you ever doubted the direction? Did you?
Well, I think there's a few days that I don't doubt the directions. I mean, like, that's a very thing, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you do your life somewhat like I have, at least until this recent chapter. But I really just wake up every day and it's like, okay, God, am I exactly where I need to be today? If I am, great. I'm going to keep going. And in the minute that I'm not, then you let me know and I'll make the change, right? So that's a very different way of doing things. That
Very.
not everyone has the capacity or the ability to do that in their current reality. But I would say that there's a huge amount of trust and a huge amount of surrender that are involved in doing life this way because my whole purpose, I believe, is to basically be evidence of magic, like be the evidence of what's possible, and then also to serve in the highest and best possible way that I can in this present moment. So when that's the intention, everything aligns to make that happen. And sometimes it means you are plucked out of where you thought you were going to be, out of the town, the relationship, this place, whatever, the work, and into a whole different reality or a whole different timeline or like a whole different way of doing life. So just because you think it's going to look a certain way doesn't mean it is always going to be that way. So you have to really trust and believe that no matter what is unfolding, things always work out in the highest and best for you. And I think that's the greatest teaching that I've had to master for myself is trust that it's always working out for me no matter how it looks right now.
And who has been your greatest teacher, Hayley? How did you learn to trust like that?
Oh, wow. Um, I think I had to learn to trust myself and my intuition.
Mm.
Right? So I learned a long time ago that uh, most of us are taught to seek outside of ourselves for everything, right? So
Externally.
appreciation, validation, approval, affection, attention, love, everything. As soon as I started to realize that I can self-source, and by that I mean source, right? God, whatever you call it,
Whatever. Yep.
whatever is that inner voice, that inner knowing, and that inner guidance. So I stopped really seeking outside, even really around advice or mentorship. I just have decided that the roots of the truth I already know. That like I know, like I know. When I listen, when I act on that guidance, then I stay fully in alignment. And here's the truth is when I do listen to other people, that's when I get all messed up, to be honest.
I feel that.
And and I think a lot of us do because you think, oh, they must know more than I do, or they've done this, so they may know better. Actually, the truth is you already know what's best for you. You just have to be brave enough to listen and then brave enough to give yourself permission to create the life that comes from that knowing.
That's really powerful, Hayley.
It's not been easy, by the way. Let me just say, not
It's
easy.
that's huge.
It's simple, but it's not easy, right? It's a clear because you know. The problem is when you question your knowing, and so you ask everybody,
Mhm.
and then you
Yeah.
get all these 18 different opinions, and then you're like, now what do I do?
And now what do you do with 18 different opinions? Oh, I love it. I love this so much. Um, Hayley, you've traveled the world creating soulful retreats. And what do these global gatherings mean to you? And what do you think they unlock for others?
So I would say there's probably no better feeling in the world for me than watching a woman show up in a state, in a way of being, and leaving in a completely different, not completely, but in a different transformed version of herself than she arrived. And you can watch it happen before your eyes, and it's the most extraordinary thing I've ever experienced. So I think that to me is um, the most incredible feeling. And then knowing that they are stepping into a way that they have may never been previously, and they will never be the same. It's the most remarkable thing. You've experienced this too in your
I
teaching,
absolutely
right?
have. I absolutely have. And
You
I
can see it
always,
in their face in pictures too. You can see it when they're in
yeah.
one way and they leave a different way, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the thing.
The connections that form from those events. I just had one less than 2 weeks ago here in my home, and
Mhm.
the way 2 of the women connected, they have followed up with me, and they're talking all day, every day, and they're building things together, and they're supporting each other, and they're planning an event, and it just happened because they were wanting to share a car and carpool to my house.
Yeah.
Those kind of things that you just have to believe that's kind of this divine intervention and this just it was always going it just was meant to be.
Yeah.
And them listening to that nudge, that took courage to trust this person, and they're sharing ideas and planning and trusting each other that the other one's not gonna, you know, drop or be a fraud or anything. And it's beautiful. I am getting energy and motivation from watching them. It is absolutely the ripple effect.
It is. It's so interesting you say that because I'm one of my closest friends I met at a retreat in like one random thing in Rhode Island that I went to that I never would have probably ended up at. But we were together in a small like group online, and this lady offered a retreat, and she has been one of my soul friends ever since then. And it's so funny, and you know how this works. You walk into a space, at least I do. This may be my Scorpio showing, but I scan the room and I'm like, you're going to be my best friend. Like, or I'm going to know you. I'm going to love you. It's like, that's how it works. And so I think
Yeah.
that's part of you're right. That's part of the beauty of bringing incredible humans together. Just creating the container, creating the space for that to happen is really incredible. I love it.
I do too. The second thing I will ask myself after something like that is, okay, because I remember prior to the doubt that I might have felt, or is this the right way, or is this the right time, or am I doing this in the right way? Like I might have asked myself those questions, or it may have just been something as simple as, okay, this is going to be a lot of work beforehand. Is it
Yeah,
going to be worth it? And then I always say to myself, what if I hadn't have done that? Or what if that event had never have happened? Or what if that meeting had not transpired? What if that hadn't happened? Because we just literally had this conversation on Wednesday in my leadership lab, and we were discussing how you go do that brave, courageous thing that feels scary as all get out. There are other people lined up waiting for you to go do that thing so then they can in turn do their thing. They're
it's
waiting for you, and if you never go do it, then they never meet the person, or they never get the idea, or they never get that motivation that they're getting. And so we need to understand that we actually have the power to not just change our own life, but we can change others just by being us and living our truth that you're talking about.
exactly like we're all little ripples. Like we're just all little pebbles in the water, and we just ripple our little
There
version
you go.
out, and then everyone does theirs. And I think that's when we all can just show up and do the thing that we're born to do in the way that we want to do it. Like, can you even imagine what life will be like when that happens? When
Mhm.
more people just say yes to the call. Like whatever it is this is what I talk about too a lot with people that may be listening that are trying to figure out what's the thing. Like what's their thing? Like do they know what their thing is?
Yeah.
One of the things that really helped me get very, very clear on Soul Sparkle is that I would think about what is the most exciting thing I can do today? What's the most exciting thing I could possibly create? For you, it might be like, what would light me up to paint today or create today, right? And so when we follow our highest excitement, to me, that is the way that we honor our creator because we're honoring our creativity, right? Which I think comes from source, right? It comes from God. And I think the more that we listen to that and then we just go for it and not be afraid. I think we have a culture that where everyone is so afraid to fail. I don't care. I'm like, I'm too old to care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to go for it. If it doesn't work out, cool. I'll do another thing. Like, if we can just get over that fear of failure and fear of what other people think, and maybe that comes with age a little bit, but I think the sooner we could get there, the better, because then it doesn't matter. You just go for it.
I do too. I mean, one of my greatest things that I think about is getting to the end of my life, whatever, whenever that is. And none of us want regrets. But when you really think about what those regrets might be, we are going to ask ourselves, why didn't I
Yeah.
do the thing? Why didn't I? I had
Exactly.
that conversation with my mom one time. I'm like, Mom, my greatest fear is just like, I know I'm doing a lot and I know that it may not make sense to anyone else, but my fear is that Right? It doesn't have to. It only needs to make sense to me when I'm living my truth. So, Hayley, what's been one of the most memorable or even transformational retreat experiences? Either one that you witnessed at your own, where you hosted, or where you were a guest. You don't have to give names, but can you think of one in particular?
Yeah. So there's one particular event that is actually my very first, well, my first international under the Soul Sparkle brand. Let me clarify. So in 2016, when I decided I was going to, quit my fancy corporate job and travel the world and do all this crazy stuff, Paris, Soul Sparkle Paris was the first one that I chose. And so I did that in 2016, 2017. And then in 2018 was my third year to do it. And one of my very, very close friends came as not only just as a participant, but also she was going to share around storytelling. That's her expertise. And one of the things that I have the ladies do is bring like a ball gown, and we do photos, and it's a very expanding exercise because many of us have not been in a ball gown since, prom or a wedding, or, it's not
Yeah.
every day that you get to wear a ball gown. And we had it at this beautiful chateau just outside the city. It was spectacular in a lot of ways, but for this particular friend, she she decided that she was going to be very, very bold and wear a red dress. Now, her brand is yellow, like everything she does is yellow, yellow branding, vibes, outfits, photography. So for her to wear a red dress was this massive, bold, big deal. Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't even know that I've ever worn a red dress. Maybe I need
Oh,
to.
I have, and I'm so impressed because
It's a big deal.
it's a big deal to put on a red dress.
It's a big deal. So the ladies all get dressed up, hair, makeup. They put their ball gown on. We do this incredible photo shoot. It's extraordinary. And she came back from that event, and she spoke for the entire year of how that one experience created what she calls her red dress year. She like doubled her business, created all this new stuff. She said, I embodied a version of myself that I was not able to do had I not been in that red dress with that red lipstick on the steps of that chateau, having that photo shoot, giving myself the opportunity to do that and have that experience. She said it changed the entire trajectory because that one moment. And I thought, you never know what the thing is going to be that will
Right.
start the spark or make the change or make the transition, because we all have different triggers, if you will. But I just thought, you know what? That was so easy for me to create that experience in that container, and the opportunity for her to have that experience to come back. And you know what she does? She helps women tell their stories. So she lit up in a whole new way, reached hundreds and hundreds of more women with her work because of the red dress. And I just thought, you know what? This is why I do this. Like, we never know. I'm just having the best time thinking, wouldn't it be fabulous if we make them wear a dress and picture new champagne, and it's so fun, and we just never know the outcome. So that to me was a very tangible experience. Now every time there's something like that happens, but for this particular one, and we've talked about it multiple times for years since then. That was my red dress year.
You also, with something like that, Hayley, you don't know the experiences that people have had before they show up that day. So it's impossible to know how many of those women had dressed up, or how many of experiences or dates that, might have been stood up by somebody, or friends that have, I mean, you just don't know all their experiences. And so for that flip of the switch to happen during that short time that she had with you all, I can just imagine that was a powerful year. I love hearing that story. That is so good.
It's so good, isn't it? Now, the one thing I will say is that you're right. There's a lot of women, and I would say most of the women that have come to the events, and it's not always women. I do have a couple of things for guys. We can talk about that later. But mostly the work of the last 10 years have been with women. And I would say the common themes is that they don't feel seen. They don't feel connected or supported or known. And so these are some core words that I really build most of my work around is I want you to feel seen and known and connected and supported and loved. No matter what, when you leave here, that's how I want you to feel, because I know after working with thousands of women over the years that that is a common theme, that there's a lack of self-love, a lack of self-care. And so I really try to help build them up to the point where they believe, they have the belief in themselves that they can go do whatever they want to do, whatever their dream is, whatever their vision is of
Mhm.
their sparkling life. And
I have
yeah.
no doubt that the listeners right now are getting fired up. They're like, I need my soul to sparkle. It's been dull for so long. You often speak about divine alignment and flow.
Mhm.
How can a woman know if she's in alignment with her soul's work or forcing something that isn't her soul's work? How does she know? Like, it's not like a test, but where should she start?
So I think there's a couple of things. One, getting in tune with your body to feel what truth feels like, and what like expansion versus contraction, right? So you know how sometimes you can have a conversation with someone, and at the end of it, Dionne, you're just like, oh my gosh, like, yes, that feels amazing. Like it's just a full body yes, right?
Yeah.
Versus when it's not, and you just kind of like you kind of feel this funky, weird thing in your gut, in your heart, in your belly, whatever it is. Knowing where it feels like truth in your body is a very easy way, because your body doesn't lie. Your mind might, and your heartbeat might be like, yeah, that sounds great, but your body's going to be like, that's a no. So that's this, I think, the first step. The other one is trusting what flows with ease and grace, right? So when you're forcing something, a friendship, a relationship, a work project or something, and you just feel like you keep hitting a dead end, like a wall, like, well, that wasn't easy, or I've got to jump through 87 hoops to do one thing that shouldn't have been that big of a deal. If that's the consistent feeling over time, at least for me, that's an indication that that may not be fully aligned for me. Or if I'm the one always reaching out, I'm the one always making the effort, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so we can, women usually are the ones that are constantly we're over giving sometimes, or we're over, like, well, we gotta just make everything right, make sure everyone's happy. So making sure that you stay in alignment and in truth of, wow, that doesn't really feel very easy. And not to say it's always going to be easy, but the overarching feeling should be ease and grace, ease. Let it be easy.
Right.
The other thing is you can ask that in your prayer, in your meditation, whatever it is. Lord, let it be easy. Let it be ease and grace. Let this come with ease, right? And you
Mhm.
can set that intention, and that way you can really feel into what the things that are meant for you. And the truth is, what is meant for you will never miss you. And if you
That's
just let it,
beautiful.
simmer long enough, usually it all works itself out. So that's what I would say.
Beautifully said. Thank you.
Hmm.
I love that. What does abundance mean to you, Haley? At this season in your life, what does abundance mean?
Oh, that a deep exhale, like being able to
Mm,
spend time with the people that I love in places where I want to spend time, doing the work that I was called to do that lights me up, having more than enough with again ease and grace, financial abundance, being able to give in ways that feel aligned for me. Um, yeah, I think there's a lot of ways that abundance can show up, an abundance of love, obviously beauty, but freedom and time is a big one for me.
mhm. Yeah, that's kind of the way I feel about the word success. I remember being young thinking it was all material.
Yeah, it's a
But the
key.
older I get, I've got my 50th birthday coming up in March, and I'm thinking success means that exhale that you just said. That success means the freedom to be who you are and have the beliefs that you have without worrying about needing to change that. Like, there's so many things that have changed about the word success. And we often look at each other and see, oh, she's so successful, when inside that woman might be feeling so much doubt and shame and carrying all of these burdens around. Uh,
Mhm.
so I think when they finally set themselves free from that and see the abundance and see the success,
Yeah,
that is a joy to witness.
truly. And I think having a sense of deep peace is also a feeling of abundance, right? Because, like you said, you can have all the fancy things, you can dance all over TikTok and do all the things, and still be empty, or still be
Mhm.
alone, or still be whatever the thing is that you don't want, can still be part of that, even though it looks perfect. And I think authenticity and being real is so much better than being trying to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
I think especially as women, we're taught, well, you've got to do this and you got to do this and you got to la 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 la, right? All these things, when really you just have to be yourself. And the frequency of authenticity is the highest um, vibration. It's also the most magnetic. So you're actually going to draw the things that are meant for you by being more yourself. So it's a waste of time to me to not be who I am.
Here, here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you heard that. Rewind it if you need to, replay.
Hmm.
Hayley, if your younger self could see you today,
Hmm.
what would she be the most proud of you for? Or what would she think of what you do today?
Oh gosh, I would say, I think being brave, right? Like not being afraid to try would be the thing most proud of, I would say. And she'd probably be like, "Oh my god, I had no idea it was going to be that fun. What? Why did we do it so much?" And I will tell you, I probably would have started sooner,
Hmm. There you go.
because I think, and you
Yeah.
know this, we grew up down the street, not far, so it's like same expectations. It was like you go to school, you get married, you do the thing, you do the thing. I probably would have done a few things differently. Like I probably would have traveled more. I mean, I did travel when I was in college, which changed the trajectory of my life probably, but I would have probably stayed there and just like something totally crazy instead of doing more of the regular things. But I didn't know any different, and I did what I thought I needed to do at the time. And so I'm just thankful that I didn't wait till I retired, to your 60,
Right.
to live this life. And yeah.
Yeah, your sparkle's showing, babe. So let's just say you sat down with your 13-year-old self.
Hmm.
Your 13-year-old self that went to Brink. Did you go to Brink or More West?
Brink, then more west, yeah, both.
To Brink and then More West. So if you sat down with your 13-year-old self,
Hmm.
what would you want to tell her, Hayley?
Don't be afraid. I would just say, tell her not to be afraid, you know? And I'm fortunate that I had parents that supported
Yeah.
me, and I did pretty much everything I wanted to do. Like, I don't feel like I would do anything differently in that period of time, if that makes sense. So, really, from that age um, forward, yeah. I mean, I feel like I lived full out. I went for all the things, and I don't have any changes that I would make at that point, but I would definitely say keep going and listening to your heart, because I think a lot of us were raised to do the right thing. At least for me, I was raised to do the right thing, be a good girl, which
Absolutely.
there's nothing wrong with that. However, there's a it's a little bit of a box, right? Like, well, that's too far out of the realm of possibility for me, or that's too crazy.
Absolutely. It's too unconventional. We're traditional over here.
That's right. We do the
We're
right thing.
This is how it goes. This is
The right
traditional.
job, you know the right boy, you do the right thing. Okay. So
Right.
for me,
Right.
that's overrated, and it limits the capacity for, first of all, self-expression, and for living a fully embodied, passionate life, because I think we're so in our head. And I did that for a long time. Okay, maybe that's what I would tell my 13-year-old self. Because it took me probably till I was 30 to be like, you know what? I don't have to live my life like for anyone else. I've did it. I've done it. I've
Yes.
done it. I've done it. And it's not for my parents. It's not for teachers, preachers, anybody else. I'm going to do exactly what I want to do. And it was the most liberating moment, probably, to realize that I'm the boss of me. No one else has to sleep in my bed, walk in my shoes. I'm the boss of me. And so
Yes.
it's up to us to create the life that we want. And I probably would have started at 20 instead of 30, but it's okay. Details.
I'm going to pause this
Okay.
at 34, 37. Hold on, Hayley. Matt's texting me. He's at the party store getting balloons. It's under your name. I'm sorry. We're doing a photo shoot right after this for the cover of the fall volume.
Oh my gosh, how fun.
I know. Um,
Y'all are so cool.
we're not. We're so boring. Um,
Well, I think we're all kind of boring, but in a cool way, you know?
he's like, I'll go get the balloons while you record with Hayley. Uh, okay, sister. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Okay.
Mhm.
Hopefully he's got it. Found it. Okay, good. No more texting. Okay. Love him. Okay, perfect. He's got it. All right. So, right there where we left off, I was picturing myself at 13 while I was asking that question, Hayley. And I'm thinking I would have to say, speak up, girl. Nobody hears you. Speak up. Like, we can't hear you.
That's
You
good.
matter. Your voice matters. Your opinion matters. And when your friend over here is not hanging out with you because she's going to hang out with those girls who are the mean girls, let her.
Let
Don't be pulling on her. Let her go.
We don't need the mean girls in our lives. I never have, never will. No thanks. No tolerance.
Ah, no, thank you. And
Yeah,
a couple years later, I would be saying, he's not the one. He's not
not
the
doing. Oh my God. Yeah, I would have said that too.
one. Right, Hayley.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me what's lighting your soul on fire right now. Like, what is it?
So I'm creating a couple of new things that are super fun. You know, I've been in this little bit of a cocoon. Anytime you go through major life transformations, it's like, okay, now what? What do I want now? Right. And so I'm just being really intentional about what I'm creating from this point forward. One is a brand new kind of a podcast, live broadcast show combo. And so I'm excited about that. So I'm launching that next week. I'm also exploring the idea of a magazine, thanks to you and your inspiration. So I'll keep you posted on that. But then the other thing that I'm creating right now, this is the one that's going to include men, because I think there's a time when we need to come together, right? In connection and community with both the masculine and the feminine.
Okay.
And so I'm creating an opportunity for those that feel called to like travel and adventure and philanthropy and, cool experiences. Maybe it's a spiritual experience or wellness experience, but um, kind of a membership concept where they could come together in community and like-minded and travel with people that are amazing humans. And I want to surround myself with people that I'd want to do life and business with, right? Because I think they go hand in hand. So that's coming soon, and that's called the Soul Sparkle Society, and that's launching in October.
Awesome,
Like
girl.
a social club.
This is wonderful. So this podcast or live, you said live stream
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
yeah, where will we be able to tune in?
I will share the links with you. It'll be on Spotify. It'll be on YouTube.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to do kind of a Q&A, kind of like Dr. Ruth when you were little, but not like all about the sex part, but like where you could call in and ask her questions. I'm going to do that.
Yeah,
It's going to be
that's
called
so fun. What's it going to be called?
Afterglow, the Afterglow show of the
Glow.
show. Yeah. So isn't that cute?
I love it, Hayley. I love it so much. Um, that's so cool. That's inspiring. Speaking of cool, um, just a few more questions.
Yeah.
What's one ritual or practice that you never skip in your daily routine?
So I always have a morning moment, right? So sometimes it lasts longer than others, but definitely just an intentional time to sit, be quiet, ask those questions like, what's the most exciting thing? Who do I need to serve today? Is there anyone I need to reach out to today? Is there anything they need to hear today? Like things I need to post or share, any messages that come through that I need to share. Just really get clear and in alignment, so that's
Right.
for me a huge piece. Um, and I have other like morning ritual things, but that's the one that really is the most grounding and centering, I would say.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful and powerful. One of my favorite questions to ask every day is who can I be a gift to today?
exactly.
How
Yeah,
can I do that? And then the confidence that comes from believing I can actually be a gift to somebody,
right.
right? If
Exactly.
I'm quiet enough and I'm listening,
Yeah.
I can actually be a gift.
Mhm.
So thank you for sharing that. What I'm curious though, what's one message your soul is kind of asking you in this time that we're here to share with those that might be listening? Can you share that with us?
Yeah, I would say just give yourself permission to live a big life. Give yourself permission to do things differently. Go against the grain. Don't listen to what other people say or think or want for you. Be really, really honest. And the way I do that is a question I ask. And this also keeps you from mentally running through over and over things. The truth is, write down those words like, the truth is, and you can get to the roots of the truth of a relationship. The truth is, this really probably is not the relationship for me. The truth is, I don't really feel the way I want to feel with this person or partner in this position, in this job. The truth is, so many of us avoid the truth. And if you just get really, really honest and ask yourself, the truth is, what I really want to do is lead retreats around the world, or what the truth is, I really want to write a book, or the truth is, I really want to, so asking that question and being brave enough to get to
Mhm.
the truth. Some people live their whole life never really asking those brave questions. So just ask brave questions. That's where the magic lives, darling.
And being honest, yeah, that's so good. Where
Mm.
can people connect with you, Haley? I know we're gonna have show notes. You guys are gonna be able to scroll down, but I
Yeah,
would like to hear you also,
cool.
learn more about your retreats, step into your world in some way. Tell us.
So my online home is soulsparkleliving.com. So soulsparkleliving.com. Anywhere on social media, it's my full name. So Hayley Hunter Hines on Facebook, on Instagram. Um, and you'll be able to find pretty much everything on one of those platforms. And then obviously they can sign up for my email list. And I'm not great at emails because I don't love to receive them. So I'm not great at sending them all the time, but I'm going to get better and
Yeah,
more
I
consistent.
haven't got one of those in a while, Haley, so I'm
Oh,
ready to get one.
I know. So yeah, but those are the ways. I know.
But your email is how we reconnected.
Exactly.
I had
Exactly.
apparently signed up for it a long time ago when you sent an email. I went, "You know what? Something's telling me to click this right here."
Yeah.
And then I went, "And I'm just gonna reach out to her today."
Yeah. And
And
it's
it was totally what I feels random, but definitely not random, definitely intended.
never random. Divine
Yeah,
appointment. Right.
divine appointment for sure.
Yeah.
Haley, thank you so much for sharing
Thank
what's
you.
on your heart. I am so excited about this next layer of your journey that,
Mhm.
I feel like there will be another form of collaboration down the road at some point.
I hope so.
Um, Thank you. Me too. For those of you listening, be sure you scroll down, click the links, check out Hayley. Be sure you also check out her feature inside the turquoiseirisjournal.com, where she shared more about her trip to Morocco with some engaging, gorgeous images. I even said it when she sent them, I said, like, are they real or like, is this real images? That was just the colors and the texture just really drew me in. And I've had that on my bucket list now to go visit one of these days. So, Hayley, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Such a blessing.
Absolutely. Everybody, we will see you back next time on another episode of the Motivatarian Exchange.